Okay. Hello? 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 How are you? I know the intro is long, but genuinely, suck it if you're upset about it. It's shocking that I'm live right now, I'm gonna be honest. Oh, it's laggy! I wanna everybody. Standby, thank you. Low frames. You recovered? No. No. What's going on, Space? 3-hour intro? He can get timed out. Anybody else want to talk about the intro? Mods, get ready. Is it still lagging? Alright, anybody saying it was a long time out? I'm so serious. Stand by. They were already delivered. Yeah, that's the last straw. No, I don't want one, thank you. Thanks, Connor. Aw. What a great day this is. I'm just waiting until everything's like supposedly sorted out. I don't know what's going on. Space, what's going on? Chat, is everything fine now? Was it good a couple minutes ago? Or did it like just turn over to being good? Okay, tell me. I was like waiting. I thought you were changing stuff. Okay. Seems fine. Okay, great. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Animal Quest. Holy moly. Cool. So, I've had a day. We're not going to talk about it, mostly because I don't want to talk about it. I will say that I've been crying a good portion of the morning, and I got back at 12 o'clock. I got back to this facility at 12. I ran up to my tiny house, and I was wearing my platform Uggs, and I fell because I was wearing platforms, and then I cried again because I was so frustrated. And then I came down here, and Space went live to the intro, and I finished Animal Quest during the intro. So I don't want to hear anything about complaining about me being live, okay? It's not it, all right? And I'm going to be honest, the only reason that I'm live on time, which I should not be, is because we're on the front page right now. Hello, front page. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, Twitch. You're going to miss the front page from a slot from 12 to 2, as it was supposed to be. Otherwise, I would not be here right now. But it has to be done, okay? So this is what we're doing today. We're doing Animal Quest. Good news is, it's one that I'm very passionate about, and I'm actually excited, despite my tone. How are you guys doing? How's it going? I'm gonna get my water. I'm doing well. Good. Hi, front pagers. Hello. Cool. Can I get my mouse, please? Or is there a way you can put the view count somewhere. Welcome to the front page. Hello, we're doing fine. Where am I? You're at Animal Quest. We're going to get extra homework today, aren't we? The presentation isn't everything that I want it to be, because I didn't have as much time as I wanted to make it everything that I wanted it to be. But what Animal Quest is, if you have not been here before, is a spotlight, a special, if you will, on one of the species that we have here at Alveus. This is like my 16th episode or something like that. I don't remember. But I do a whole little show on a species that we have here at Alveus. And this week, it's the 14th episode. This week, it is on Madagascar hissing cockroaches. It is my first insect Animal Quest. Thank you, Space. That is great. Very clever. Madagascar hissing cockroaches. It is my first invertebrate Animal Quest. The other ones that I've done are on vertebrates. So it's a bit of an introduction. We talk a little bit more about roaches today because it's like your umbrella introduction to invertebrates. So, the little things that run the world. Yes, exactly. Yes. So, that's the plan. That's the plan for today. We have a large colony of Madagascar hissing roaches. We have over 100 of them, even though we started with 7. The females, their name is Barbara, and the males are named Baked Bean. And you're going to meet some of the roaches today. I have some Barbaras here. But before we get into that, and before we get into actually teaching you about the species and about invertebrates in general, we're going to learn about our actual ambassadors here, Barbara and Baked Bean. Here we go. Okay, hold on. Space has to play a video a special way because when I loaded it in during the intro, it didn't load in. So, here it is. Max made this. Here are some of our newest additions to Alveus. We got a little mini colony of Madagascar hissing cockroaches. We started with 7 from a colony in Pennsylvania, and they've just bred. They're super prolific, so these ones are younger, like these. Here's a little baby roach. So all the male Madagascar hissing roaches are named Baked Bean, and all the females are named Barbara. They're really important ambassadors for teaching people about detritivores. They break down soils and make it so that things can grow. These are...
Oh my god.
These are Madagascar hissing cockroaches.
Oh my god.
Great. And go right there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cute. Here. Eric is gonna hold her.
And that I will.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fair.
This is crazy that I'm like allowing a cockroach on me.
You like her?
Barbara's chill.
Yeah.
Barbara's pretty chill.
Yay! All right. That is the intro to our very own Barbara and Baked Bean. I will introduce you to Barbara right now. Hold on. Let me just have this one. Ma'am, please. Ma'am, thank you. Oh, okay. Very fast. She's a little fast. Ma'am? All right. Oh, okay. There we go. This is Barbara. One of the many. One of our Madagascar hissing cockroaches. Like all the other Barbaras, she's a little bit shy. She's feeling around with her antennas there. You can see her little mouth parts. Her eyes are on the top here. these two bits that you can kind of see it shining off of, those are her eyes. She's saying hi to you. She cannot fly. This is one of the largest species of cockroaches, but not the largest. The largest has almost a foot wingspan and is 6 inches long. These only get 2 to 3 inches. These are from Madagascar. They have really beautiful amber coloring on their back, kind of looks like honey. Very pretty. They range from, this is like a pretty dark colored roach, but they get a little bit darker, a little bit lighter, but they're all brown like that. And yeah, that's Barbara. Hi. She waved. She waved. Hi. It's very nice. So, this is one of our roaches. I have a few out here right now, and we'll get to know some of them. There are also some babies in here. But yeah. So, that's Barbara. Again, if you didn't see in the video, we got Barbara from an educational colony in Pennsylvania. And we got 7, and they all bred, and now we have hundreds, or over 100. How old is she now? I don't, probably like a few months. They can live 2 to 3 years, 2 to 5 years, if they're really lucky. But yeah. So, a lot of people hate roaches. That's why we're doing this stream today. That's why I'm doing this presentation today. People really don't like roaches for a lot of reasons. We're going to go through those reasons as well, but I'm also going to tell you why you should think they're kind of cool and why we should think that insects in general and invertebrates in general are pretty cool. So there are going to be a lot of people that are coming in here saying, step on it, kill it with fire, whatever people usually say about roaches, but I'm hoping that this presentation can change your mind just a little bit. There's a lot of really cool stuff about them that you might not know. Hold on. Okay, so listen up. All right, this is really important. Sorry, that should be the last. I should not say that. I was going to say that should be the last technical difficulty that we have today. Can we zoom this camera in a little bit on the bottom? It's just far away. So invertebrate conservation is very, very important. Thank you. Yeah, that's better. Invertebrate conservation is very, very important. Okay, we don't talk about it enough. When you think conservation, you probably think big things like tigers and pandas and and charismatic. Your charismatic megafauna is what we usually talk about. But the little things in the world, our invertebrates, run the world. Okay, and let me show you why. The numbers. Oh, I planned this terribly. I'll read these to you. Okay, 94% of all of our animal species on the planet are invertebrates. Invertebrates. Meaning they do not have a backbone. I will tell you, thank you. I will tell you guys more about how that is laid out and what that means and what kind of animals are invertebrates and what kind are vertebrates. But for now, invertebrates, just think bugs for now, okay? But it's more than that, but just think bugs for now. 94% of our animal species, okay? As of today, there are about 70,000 species of vertebrates described. That is animals with a backbone. That is birds, reptiles, mammals, fish, all of those things combined, 70,000 species. Invertebrates, there are over 1 million species, and they think that there are up to 30 million that are just not yet described because their diversity is so insane. There are about 200 million insects for every 1 human on the planet. For every one of you, there's 200 million insects. Okay, that's insects, by the way. That's not invertebrates. That is a subsection of invertebrates. There's 200 pounds of insect for every pound of human, if you want to think about it like that. And at any time, there are some 10 quintillion individual insects alive at a time. If you want to see what that number looks like, it looks like that. That's a lot. That's a lot. Let me give you a couple more examples just so you can understand the scope of what we're talking about. Okay? 94% of our animal species are invertebrates, yet we never really talk about them. You think animal, what do you think of? What do you think of when you think of an animal? Huh? That's at least like 50? Yeah, nice. Good job. A dog, a cow, a bird, a goose, a coral. That's a crazy answer. I don't believe you. I appreciate you saying that because it's an invertebrate, but I don't believe that that's what you think of when you think of an animal. Lion, tiger, yes, yes, yes. Okay, but there are so many more invertebrates than there are vertebrates. Okay, there are 290,000 species of just beetles. Beetles. You know how many bird species there are? And birds are pretty diverse for vertebrates. 11,000 or so. All birds on the planet. Beetles, 290,000 described species. There are so many more that are not yet described. So that is your like, there are so many of them. We need to care about them. If you want to visualize it, there's this graph. I know it's a little bit hard to see. It's a pie graph, but I'll explain it to you. So all of the gray areas, all invertebrates. This is all of our animal species, okay? All of the gray areas, invertebrates. All the blue areas, vertebrates. So the blue areas, we got amphibians, reptiles, birds, fish, mammals, corals. Mammals doesn't even have a number that fits in there because it's so small. It's insignificant on this chart, on this graph. It doesn't even have a number in it. Insects, that fat gray blob, that is the majority of our animal species by so much. You'd think there'd be more birds? No, look at the bird section. It barely has a number. It's barely significant for this graph. So then, another example of how insane this is. Hold on. Let's look at this insect thing, the big gray blob, and then look at birds. That little blue triangle, okay? Now look at this. Birds, this is another subsection of the insect category, longhorn beetles. Only longhorn beetles outnumber bird species by 20,000. They look similar in size, right? Birds are 11,000, longhorn beetles over 30,000 described species in just longhorn beetles. Not beetles, there are 290,000 species of beetles, just longhorn beetles. Okay, the diversity is insane. These are beetle species. These are beetle species. Beetle species. Beetle species. Beetle species. And this is not even close to what we're actually looking at, folks, okay? There are so many more, and they're beautiful. Beetles are particularly beautiful. I will come in lots of different colors, and they're very beautiful. But people don't realize, you just think about like a bug, and you think about like a gray spider. Insect diversity is outrageous. So there's a little reference for why invertebrate conservation is so important. Let's go back a little bit to our Madagascar hissing cockroaches, okay? Is it still lagging? No, kinda. No, okay. All right, so let's go back to our Madagascar hissing cockroaches. The lore, a little bit of the lore here. So they are from Madagascar. There's Madagascar on a map. I'm gonna be honest, it's bigger than I thought it was. I thought it was a little smaller, but that's Madagascar on the map. Their IUCN status is least concern. Let me tell you something. It is remarkable that there is an IUCN status for Madagascar hissing cockroaches. It is very hard to get an IUCN status for invertebrates. For those of you who don't know, that means they have gone out and counted populations, and they know like what they don't know what their population trend is, but they know if they're endangered, critically endangered, vulnerable, whatever. And they don't do that for insects. There's just not a lot of funding for invertebrate conservation. It's super overlooked, which again is insane because if you look at those charts, we should absolutely be looking at it, but people want to know about mammals, fluffy things. Anyway, I digress. Lifespan 2 to 5 years, more like 2 to 3 years generally. Weight up to 0.8 ounces. They're little guys. Size 2 to 3 inches. And there are over 4,500 species of cockroach. Again, this is one of the larger ones. We have 4 of them that are pretty common in the US. I'll show you guys pictures of those. So you'll be familiar with those probably. But 4,500 species of cockroach. People think cockroach, they think one thing. No. There's a lot of different types of cockroaches. Okay. Oh. Why did I do this to myself? Okay. So, what is an insect? When you ask the question, what is a vertebrate? the answer is very simple. Okay? A vertebrate is a bird, a reptile, a mammal, an amphibian, or fish. That's it. Okay? When you ask the question, what is an invertebrate? People ask me all the time, they're like, is that an insect? Or is that a bug? What's a bug? What's a ba-ba-ba? Let's go through it, okay? Invertebrates, there are 6 phylum for invertebrates. Is this big enough for you to see? I'm going to go bigger than that. Invert. Cool? Okay. 6 of them. 6 classes. You know what? We're going to do it this way. Invertebrate. Brit. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. Okay. Thanks. So, we got arthropods here. Wait, no, I'm going to do it like this. So you can actually read it. Arthropods. What is an arthropod? This is probably what you think of when you think of invertebrates. This is the biggest class of invertebrates. Okay? This is arachnids. Crustaceans. And insects. By far the largest portion of invertebrates. Okay? Crustaceans, yes, your crabs, your lobsters, your isopods. Okay? Arachnids, spiders, scorpions, vinegarins. 2 segmented body, 4 pairs of legs. Insects, 3 segmented body, 3 pairs of legs. Okay? Arthropods, we got annelids. And these are your earthworms and your leeches. These guys. These are your spiders. Crustaceans, crabby, whatever. Annelids, earthworms, and your leeches, okay? Next, we have cnidarians. Starts with a C. Shout out academia. Okay, cnidarians, these are your jellyfish, your sea anemone, your corals. Somebody said coral earlier. Yes, that is an invertebrate. Okay? The cnidarians, we got porifera, sponges, sea sponges, SpongeBob, if you will. Okay? Then we, excuse me? When did, he just like fell off the table. How did he get out of the, sorry, there's a roach here. Okay. Sponges, we got echinoderma. Sea stars, urchins. Sea urchins. That's a sea urchin. Echinoderms, yes. And then last but not least, we have mollusks. Cool. Snails, squid, octopus. This is what makes up invertebrates. There's actually a lot more invertebrate phyla than that. Look, I have an agriculture degree, okay? I read a lot of journals about how to classify invertebrates, and I found so many different answers. And so I took this from the University of Tennessee off of a syllabus, a class on invertebrates, and they said they were going to focus on the main phylum of invertebrates, and this is what they gave me. All right, so this is the information that I'm passing on to you. Will you remember any of this information? No, so it doesn't matter, okay? Don't come for me. I'm just telling you that there are a lot, okay? And it encompasses much more than just insects. There's worms, there's starfish, there's sponges, there's snails, there's squids, there's octopus, okay? This is an introductory course. So anyway, that's what an insect is, okay? An insect has 3-segmented body and it has 3 pairs of legs. Okay? Make sense? Are we all on the same page? Does everyone feel good about this? Everyone feel good about this? Excellent. Maya is flatter than my desk. It's a good thing I'm trying to teach you about invertebrates right now. And that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Next up. Fun facts. Lots of them. Okay, a lot of fun facts. You know what? I'm not even going to put this up. You can kind of see it, but I'm also blocking it. I feel like I'll still be blocking it up here. So I'm going to go full camera. I'm going to read them to you. Okay? Are you ready? I'm still on page 1. Can we start again? No, keep up. Keep up. Fun facts. Madagascar hissing cockroaches, they hiss. Right? That's why they're called a hissing cockroach. What that means is as a defense mechanism, they expel air from spiracles in their abdomen, and it makes a s sound. That sound can be heard from up to 12 feet away, which is not that crazy. It's not that loud. It's not that, but it's pretty loud for a bug that small, I guess. They can hold their breath underwater for 30 minutes. That seems crazy. Why? I didn't get that far. But 30 minutes. Crazy. Cockroaches can withstand 10 times the radiation that humans can. There are beetles that can stand up to 100 times the radiation levels that humans can. A lot of people think that cockroaches can survive a nuclear explosion, that they could survive the apocalypse. The answer to that, and we are going to go deeper into this throughout this presentation. The answer to that is they could not survive the initial blast, but they could survive the radiation, probably, where we could not. This one is crazy. Should I leave this up? I'm just going to erase it, just in case anyone comes for me about my classifications. This one's crazy. They can live for up to a week without their head. Like, if you cut off their head, they could live for a week. And I know that that sounds insane, and it sounds like one of those things that people just say to make them sound creepy, which is what I thought when I started researching them. And then I found out that it is actually true. It's a wild concept for us to process, because if a human gets their head cut off, obviously they die. And that's for several reasons. One of them being blood loss. Another being that we get no oxygen to our brain, which is how our brain functions, and we need our brain to function in order to breathe, because our brain controls our breathing. Cockroaches are very different for several reasons. One, they're not going to bleed out. That's not a concern that they have. Two, their brain does not control their breathing. They have a central nervous system. They breathe through the spiracles on their abdomen. So, if you cut off a cockroach's head, it would have no problem living and continuing to breathe. The only reason it would die after a week, maybe 2 weeks, is because it would starve to death because it has no way of consuming food. Crazier, you could provide nutrients and refrigeration to the head, and the head could survive on its own separately for a week as well. The more you know. So there's that, kind of a fun fact. Females can produce up to 750 babies in their lifetime. This is why we have so many Madagascar hissing cockroaches right now, because they breed really fast. Females are ovoviviparous. Does anyone know what that means? By the 750 babies in their lifetime, which is like 2 to 3 years, by the way. Try that. No. Okay, so super fertile? No, good guess though. They give live birth. Yes, Ren. Well done. Live bearing. Yes. Bad X. Good job. So yeah, it means that they essentially give live birth. Not in the same way that mammals do. They're certainly not mammals. But they store an egg sac inside of their body, inside of the carapace. And when the babies are ready to hatch out, they hatch inside of the female's body, and then they crawl out of the female's body. And that's how they give birth. It's a live birth. Which is excellent for roaches because it keeps the baby safe. So nothing can come and cull or eat the egg sacs. So, yeah. Ovoviviparous. And they can give birth to over 60 babies at a time. 60 baby cockroaches can exit out of the female at a time during birth. That's why they can have so many babies in their lifetime. Extremely prolific animals. It is very important that they're prolific, and we'll talk about that when we talk about their ecological niche in a little bit. But roaches and humans. Okay, so you can be honest. Do you like roaches? You can be honest. It's fine. I'm not going to get mad. Mods. They reported themselves. Get them. Go get. No. Okay. I get it. People don't like roaches, and that's because we have a long history with roaches as pests. Okay? Roaches as pests. Let me tell you, number one, first of all, like I told you, there are 4,500 species of cockroaches. Okay? 99% of them do not inhabit human dwellings. So roaches are much more diverse than what you think when you think of a roach. The vast 99% of cockroach species live in rainforests, in jungles, in whatever, in leaf litter. And they don't come in contact or affect humans at all. Okay? So it's only 1%. But they've been pests for over 3,000 years, despite it just being 1%. People have developed a hatred and disgust for cockroaches because of health concerns, sanitation concerns, and popular culture. You've seen lots of roaches in popular culture like this. I don't know what the hell this is above me. I don't even know what this is, to be honest. But, you know, people hate roaches. These roaches, the picture that I have is roaches that are common in the U.S. We have the American roach, the smoky brown roach, the oriental roach. The German cockroach is pretty far down because this is a size chart, but the German cockroach is very popular. It's all over the U.S. Brown-banded cockroach in the U.S. as well. You know what? Not all of these are in the U.S. No, maybe they are. Anyway, those are some examples of cockroaches that you might see. But again, most cockroaches do not inhabit human dwellings. They're also very hard to get rid of. One of the problems that people have with cockroaches is that there's infestations. Once you have cockroaches, because they're so prolific, you have a ton and they're super hard to get rid of. People are like, they can survive anything. Can they survive a nuclear explosion, though?
Weather just about everything you throw at them.
That is not the beginning of the video.
What makes cockroaches so hard to kill? There are nearly 5,000 cockroach species. 99% of them live in a range of habitats where they play important ecological roles by recycling dead or decaying organic matter and nourishing other animals. But a couple dozen species adapted to live in close association with humans. German and American cockroaches are among the most common, and they owe their resilience to a combination of physical and chemical adaptations. When it comes to old-fashioned removal methods, they're troublingly tenacious. An American cockroach's sensory hairs or structures pick up subtle air currents and rapidly send signals to its central nervous system. The roach can then turn and sprint away within a few milliseconds, and it's among the fastest invertebrates ever recorded, reaching speeds of up to 50 body lengths per second. This would be the human equivalent of running more than 300 kilometers per hour. And finding a hiding place is no problem. With its flattened, flexible body, an American cockroach can squeeze into spaces less than a quarter of its height. Even if we do land a hit, it can withstand compressive forces of up to 900 times its own weight by distributing the impact along its body. And the cockroach's toughness doesn't end there. Cockroaches can eat a variety of organic matter, including hair, dead skin, adhesives, and paper. This is made possible by an expansive set of digestive enzymes. Cockroaches are able to thrive even in nutrient-poor environments. Roaches often eat decaying foods that are low in nitrogen, an essential component of DNA and proteins. But they survive by storing nitrogen-containing wastes in their bodies and having a resident group of bacteria recycle the nitrogen into useful molecules for them. Meanwhile, German cockroaches will eat their own poop, vomit, and dead or dying colony members without hesitation. An American cockroach will frolic in sewers, consuming excrement and toting microbes like Staphylococcus aureus and E. coli. But they'll rarely suffer any consequences. This is because they're equipped with genes that provide immunity against numerous pathogens. These genes are often duplicated many times over, so when infected, the cockroach's immune system efficiently unleashes many antimicrobial molecules. Cockroaches also have a slew of defenses against pesticides. When a non-resistant roach walks on a surface that's been sprayed with a pyrethroid insecticide, for example, the results will likely be fatal. Once absorbed, the chemical binds to sodium channel proteins, which help propagate nerve impulses. The pyrethroid keeps the sodium channels open, so the nerves fire repeatedly, and soon the cockroach dies. But if a resistant roach is exposed to pyrethroids, it'll be just fine. Genetic mutations have given them sodium channels that the pyrethroids can't bind to. The cockroach also produces more detoxification enzymes, which render the pesticide harmless, and the cockroach simply excretes it as a waste. Because German cockroaches reproduce especially quickly, populations may evolve resistance to a new pesticide within months. So far, they're already resistant to 43 different chemicals. But contrary to popular belief, cockroaches would probably not survive a nuclear apocalypse. Compared with other insects, cockroaches are only mildly tolerant to radiation. They would die near the sites of nuclear explosions and would still be severely compromised miles away. Moreover, disasters that threaten humanity also jeopardize the habitats and buffets we provide roaches. Perhaps the only way to beat them is through our mutual destruction. Or maybe cockroaches would find even more surprising ways to thrive long after we're gone. Cockroaches are curious creatures, but did you know there's a bug that gives birth to its own clones, who are already pregnant with their own clones?
Don't worry about that. So, there's a lot to learn about bugs. Can they survive nuclear explosions? The answer is no. Can they withstand more radiation than humans can? Yes. Can they withstand more radiation than other bugs? Not necessarily. There are bugs that can survive 100 times the radiation that we can. They can survive about 10 times the radiation that we can. But, again, because they reproduce so quickly, they develop immunity to pest control, pesticides, quickly, because they go through generations so fast. Okay? So that's roaches as pests. Why is it a problem? Why are roaches in our homes a problem? There are actually quite a few legitimate reasons. So one of the things that he talked about in that video is that roaches are pretty resistant to a lot of bacteria. They can consume E. coli and be completely fine, right? Good gif, thank you. But I actually just did that one to piss you off. What that means is that Roaches can be underground. They can be in sewers. They can carry E. coli on them. They can eat it. And they can then come up into our kitchens and walk on our countertops where we're preparing food. And then we can genuinely get sick. That's a thing that happens with cockroaches. This is bothering me. That's not straight. Now it's fine. Okay. So, here's the thing about Barbara. Let's bring her back, shall we? Ma'am? A minute of your time? Man, they're grippy as hell. They're really, okay, we're gonna get a different one. How about this one? Oh my god, you guys, please. Thank you. Ma'am, you're still upside down. Oh, she's not upside down anymore. Okay. So, here's the thing about Barbara. Here's the thing. Barbara's ecological niche is a detritivore. Her job is to break down organic matter and make it into soils that plants can use and animals can use. Okay? She plays a very, very important role in our environment in eliminating waste in a natural, biological way. Okay? That's her job. That's what she is on our planet for. It's a very important ecological niche, a niche that a lot of bugs have, but she's particularly good at it. Okay? That's her job. That means because she's trying to break down material, that she is attracted to decaying things. She's attracted to yucky things because her job is to get rid of yucky things for us. Right? That's what she's here for. So, she wants to be around trash. She wants to be around decaying food. She wants to be around dirty dishes. She wants to be around poop because she's trying to clean it up for you. Okay? That's why cockroaches like dirty things. That's why you associate dirty places with cockroaches, is because they're there to clean it up. I think that's one of the misconceptions that people have about cockroaches, is cockroaches make places dirty. Not the case. Cockroaches are there to clean up dirty places for you. It's like being mad that there's a firefighter at the location of a fire. You can't associate those two things. You can't be like, oh, there are a bunch of firefighters there. That's why there's a fire. No. That's not why there's a fire. That's not why there's a fire. They're there to put it out. They're there to clean it up. Okay? Granted, it's still potentially a problem that she is there to clean these things out, right? Because they reproduce rapidly. They're great at developing resistance to bacteria that is dangerous to us. So even if she's there cleaning, she can still spread bacteria that's bad for us. Hello. Also, another additional thing is a lot of people have cockroach allergies. Are you guys aware of that? You guys are probably familiar with dust mite allergies. They're very similar. Ma'am? That's nice, thanks. It works similar to a dust mite allergy. There's a lag or an F, but I think it's fine. Cockroach allergies are extremely common. Cockroaches produce a protein in their bodies, in their saliva, and in their waste that people can be allergic to. So that's another human health risk. But here's what I will concede to. They are a human health risk. If you have cockroaches in your home, it is a health risk. What I will not concede to is blaming them for it. Because I think that's crazy. Because they're literally just there to clean it up and to break it down and to make it into stuff that's usable for life. Okay? If we didn't have things breaking down our soils and we're making the messes that we're making on our planet, we would not have beautiful things. We would not have flowering plants and forest regrowth. Okay? That's all they're here for. They're just attracted to gross human messes. You know? Because they're there to fix it for us. They're there to break it down for us. Is that distinction making sense to you guys? You know what I mean? Yeah? Okay. They're there to help. Okay? So you got to think about cockroaches like that. Here you go. Thank you so much. So there is that. That's roaches and human health. Okay. Why should we God, I did a really terrible job this time. I really thought my camera was, I always think my camera's smaller than it is. Why should we care? Insects produce, speaking of them helping us, insects produce over $80 billion of ecological services to the U.S. each year. $80 billion. Okay? Who's paying the insects, but we don't pay them? We're going to go through this, okay? So these are, bear with me, these are the slides that I made during the intro, okay? So they're not excellent, but I should be able to explain them to you fine. Number 1, waste management. Yeah, I had to fill it up. It just wasn't balanced, and I didn't have more text to put in. So that's why it says that at the bottom. Waste management, dung beetles, very, very important for lots of reasons, okay? They enhance foraging. What that means, cows will not eat grass that is soiled because it will make them sick. And so if there's cow poop on grass, they won't eat that grass, and that reduces the amount of land that our cattle can graze on. Number 2, they recycle nitrogen. Lots of animals, detritivores, these ones included, detritivores, your millipedes, your isopods, your roaches, your dung beetles, they eat poop, and they're able to process it into nitrogen that our plants can actually use. Without them there, it is wasted nitrogen. Dung beetles also use poop for nesting, and they bury poop. Are you guys familiar with carbon sequestration? I've talked about that on my stream before a little bit. Carbon sequestration, nitrogen sequestration, what that means is that I'm not really about to draw the nitrogen cycle for y'all. I have not done that since I was a freshman in college. Nitrogen can either be buried in here or it can be released into the atmosphere. Okay? Dung beetles bury it. So they sequester nitrogen so that our plants can use this nitrogen to grow into flowers. Hooray! But if there is cow poop that's nitrogen on the surface and it is not broken down, it will just go into our atmosphere and it will continue to break down the ozone layer, and then global warming, then we die. I'm going to be honest, guys, I would have loved to do more research on the nitrogen cycle for you to explain it a little more. We'll talk about it more when we do like Hank's Animal Quest. Okay? So a couple things that our dung beetles do. I use dung beetles as an example because it's pretty focused, it's pretty obvious, is they eat poop, they make it into nitrogen that our plants can use, and they sequester poop. They sequester nitrogen into the ground so that we can actually use it, right? Which is very, very important. And they reduce pest and parasite habitat. You know what loves living in poop? Parasites. Parasitic flies, things like that. That affects our livestock as well. And so by breaking down that poop, there are less parasites and less pet habitat. Okay? And again, enhancing foraging for those vertebrates as well that are grazing on that land. So that's ecological service number 1. When you think about eating beef, you better think about dung beetles. Okay? You have a lot of large animals in a very small space. You produce a lot of waste. And we already pay a ton of money because there is so much to break it down. But if we did not have these millions and millions and millions and trillions of insects to help us in breaking it down, we would be spending a lot more. And when I say spending a lot more, I mean it would not be possible to have animal agriculture, okay, without these animals. So, number 1, waste management. Number 2, biological pest control. This slide is ugly. I am sorry. What this means, and I've talked about this with our scorpions as well, is there are carnivorous bugs. There are insects that are insectivores that only eat other insects. That is very important because we have so many of them. We already spend so much money on pesticides to get rid of insects that we don't like. What on earth would it look like if we did not have beneficial insects in agriculture. People buy ladybugs by the thousands to release onto their crops because ladybugs eat aphids, which are bad for our plants. That's an excellent example. The other excellent thing about insects as biological pest control is that it means we don't have to put pesticides, synthetic pesticides, on our produce because they're not good for us and they're certainly not good for the environment. And then it leads to a whole other problem of leaching and algal blooms, yada, yada, yada. It's not good for the rest of the environment. So biological pest control, very important, very cool that they do that for us. We also have pollination, guys. 15 to 30% of the US diet is a result, either directly or indirectly, of animal-mediated pollination. When you guys think of pollinators, you probably think of bees and flowers, right? Like you're like, oh, they make flowers grow. That is true. It's absolutely true. Pollination is a lot more than bees, though. Bees pollinate, moths pollinate, mosquitoes pollinate. There are lots of different pollinators, on our planet, and they pollinate much more than flowers, because what does fruit come from? What comes before a fruit, folks? This is a test question. Bats and birds pollinate. A flower. When you think of pollination, you're probably thinking of cut flowers or just, flowers on the ground. It's also every single fruit that we have comes from a flower. It needs to be pollinated. It's fruits, it's vegetables, it's nuts, everything that we eat. And it's not just these raw produce items. If you like eating corn chips, if you like eating pretty much any processed product in the US, corn is in there. We need pollinators for corn. You know what else needs corn? Livestock. Cattle, poultry, a lot of them feed on a lot of corn and a lot of produce. These are herbivores. These animals also need flowering plants to survive, which means that they need pollinators. If we didn't have pollinators, it's not just that we wouldn't be able to eat flowering plants, we wouldn't be able to eat anything. I think this 50 to 30% is very generous. I think it's very conservative. Does this make sense? Imagine having a corn allergy. Yeah, that'd be really bad. Yes? Okay, cool. So, there's that. Pollination. Lastly, wildlife nutrition. This one's a little bit morbid, but still very important. Still very important. Insects and other invertebrates are an extremely important food source for other animals. There are a lot of animals that need insects to survive. Take Alveus as a very small sample size. Our chickens eat mealworms. Our crows eat mealworms. Georgie eats only he eats bugs and mice. He eats bugs. Our scorpions eat crickets. Stompy can eat insects. They're a food source for a lot of different animals. And so if you think about it from a very small perspective, you're like, oh yeah, they feed other animals. That's important. It's so much bigger than that because there are so many animals that are insectivores. Take purple martin, for example, in the bottom right there. That's a bird that's an insectivore. It needs insects to survive. If we didn't have insects, then the purple martin dies. If we didn't have the purple martin, you know how the domino effect works. One of the reasons that that estimate for how much they provide us economically, why that estimate is so high, is because we pay so much, or people pay so much for hunting, fishing, for national parks, things like that. And all of those wild areas depend on invertebrates to survive. Cool? Make sense? Ow! Oh, motherfucker. Cool. It's fine. I got it. Invertebrates are the base of life. Yeah. What's important to know about invertebrates is that if humans dropped off the face of the planet, not only would invertebrates thrive, or not only would they be fine, but they would thrive. The planet would thrive if humans were eliminated from this planet. It would take a very long time, but it would just flourish and a bunch of species would do much better, right? If we lost invertebrates, God, if we lost invertebrates for whatever reason, the planet would be ash. I mean, it would just crumble within a very short period of time. So we need them and they don't need us. Actually, they would do much better without us. So that is it. Recommendations. Okay, so this is a big section, and I know a lot of you are going to have questions about this. Fun thing about the questions section today is that you guys can answer them, or you guys can ask them via guest star. That's how we're doing that today. That's why we're on the front page. Is instead of reading them, I'm going to answer them. So, remember that roaches and all bugs are much more than just pests. I will tell you again, 99% of roaches never come in contact with human establishments. Most of them are minding their own damn business in leaf litter in the forest, breaking it down so that we can have more trees, okay? And so that things can survive. Most of them are minding their own business. Number 2, keep your living spaces clean. This is a recommendation. If you don't want roaches in your living space, keep your living space clean. They love gross things. They love molding things. They love rotting things. They love waste. They love toenail clippings. They love cardboard that's sitting out, because they are looking around thinking, how can I make this environment more beautiful? They're walking around being like, how can I clean up? So if you leave a bunch of shit out, then they're going to go help you, and then you're going to get mad at them. And that's unfair. So clean your living space so that you don't have this problem in the first place. Seal potential roach entrances in your home. This includes drains, okay? A lot of times roaches will come up through pipes into your home. So if you need to seal off even that much, sometimes it's something that has to be done. Seal off entrances, caulk the sides of your house. If there are cracks in your walls, things like that. Keep food tightly sealed. Again, they are just looking to clean things up. They're just looking to break things down. So if you give them access to things that they can break down, that is what they're going to go do. Declutter. I already said this too. Roaches like eating and living in cardboard, believe it or not, because they are really good at breaking things down, and that's trash. So don't leave too much clutter, because they will try to break it down for you. And be more kind to bugs. That is very general and something that I've been working very hard on with my invertebrate program. Is they're so misunderstood, and it is such an injustice. It's like actually infuriating that people hate them so much when we need them so much. If I was a bug, I'd be pissed. You need to be nicer to bugs. We need to be nicer to bugs. That's the end of my presentation. Did you learn? I am informed. They need a new PR team. I'm their PR team. All right. So it's time to do a Q&A. Now, if you have questions, we are going to go ahead and open up Guest Star. So you're going to be able to ask me these questions now with your own voice and video. That's the plan. I'll also answer some questions in chat while we're waiting for some people to come in. If you have a question, you can type it in chat right now. I will try to read it if I know the answer to it. So we can stall a little bit. Okay. Aren't some bugs evolving to eat plastic? I heard that superworms can eat styrofoam. Winnie Plush, Command Plush. Thanks, McFlitz. That's really nice. Should I leave poop on the ground to attract roaches? That would attract roaches. So not unless that's what you want. A lot of people asking like, how do I like bugs? I think it takes time. I think it takes getting up close and personal with bugs, native bugs too, like ones that are in your own environment. I truly, if you just like give them a chance and watch them, if you find a jumping spider, you watch that little shit, okay? Because you're gonna fall in love with it, I swear. They're so in tune with their surroundings. If you snap above a jumping spider's head, it will look up at you. There's a lot in those little tiny bodies. You just need to spend some time watching them. All right, we got our first question here from, wow, Dank Morgano.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to Animal Quest.
My question is, how much risk do bugs carry to carry disease versus how much importance they have breaking down things?
Yeah. I don't have like a quantifiable like 70-30, you know, or whatever. But I think generally speaking, if you look at the economic value of the ecological services that insects provide, it is much higher than the risk that's to urban environments. They're much more important than they are harmful.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your question. Nice, good camera. You're killing it. Wow, so far this is... Alright, I hear somebody, but I can't see someone. We're letting someone in. Pooh Yaman. Nice camera.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Thank you. Hi from New Zealand. As someone who lives with a lot of bugs, especially invertebrates and cockroaches too, because we have a garden, but basically they live in. It's always hard to invite people over because they think the space is dirty, even though, you know, it's just natural that we have a garden. Basically, they come in. We have a lot of spiders. We have a lot of cockroaches, especially. I just wanted to know how do you get the conversation started about how, you know, it's not too bad. We're just living together. There's no big deal.
That's an interesting question. I think it depends on the person and how aggressively they hate bugs. I think it's cool. So my approach in this whole thing was I knew that everyone was going to hate roaches when I started this presentation. And so I was trying to flip the script, you know? I was like, they're just trying to clean up, or they're here to do blank. They're here to do this. Or you could take something that they do like, you know, if it's from your garden, you give them like a zucchini or something, and you can be like, I was able to grow this bug, you know? Things like that. I think that's kind of a fun start, but look up the species that live with you, and then look up their ecological niche and see what you can find.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay,
it was
good
a
luck
really
with
fun
your garden.
presentation, this one.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Drakes for that guy. Curtykins!
Hi, how's it going?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Excellent. Yeah, thank you so much for the incredible Animal Quest.
Hooray! You're welcome.
I just wanted to ask about, do you have any thoughts about having roaches as pets? Because this seems to be something that people are quite conflicted on as to whether or not they are good pets, you know, that get like kids exposed to like roaches at young age, so they don't get these sort of misconceptions about them. But then also, you know, what if they get out?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think that they make pretty solid pets. They're very easy to take care of. You just have to feed them produce. Yeah. They're definitely self-sufficient, and you'll definitely get more than you wanted. So if you want a lot of them, then they make a great pet. That being said, there are some places where you need permits for specific roaches because of that risk of them getting out and them starting an infestation or them becoming invasive. So wherever you are, if you're looking into getting roaches or any animal, you definitely need to look into the permit if you're allowed to do that. Yeah. And then the other thing, if you're buying insects as pets, this goes beyond roaches, be very careful how you source them, because a lot of them are wild caught, and so you need to look at who you're buying them from and make sure that they're not wild caught invertebrates, because that harms wild populations. But generally speaking, I think that they make better pets than you think. I think they're really fun to take care of. I like building terrarium. Yeah. Just depends where you're at.
How do you stop them from climbing up the glass? That's the...
They can climb up glass. They're very they have barbs on their legs that make them really good at climbing, so you have to put Vaseline on the wall so they can't climb out.
Is that why they're called Barbara?
Yes, Barb. You learn something new every day, Kurt.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Right, thanks, Curdy.
Bye, chat.
Bye. Barbara. B-A-R-B-A-R-A. Didn't know that. Now you do. Selfie!
Yo.
You got a question?
All right. Yep. So, say you're not quite as clean as you want to be, right?
Okay.
So you have a cockroach that gets into your home.
Okay.
What would be the best way to get rid of it? Because you don't want to touch it, because it could be a health risk. Where should you put it? Do you want to just put it outside? Should you give it to the neighbor? You know, have them deal with it. You don't want to. It doesn't want to be your problem. It's theirs now. You're gonna do okay outside.
I think, yeah. I mean, if there's one that you see inside and you don't want it inside, you do like the cup and paper method. That's my ideal, right? If you don't want to touch it, I pick everything up. It's probably not good because I pick things up before you idea. Put it in a cup. I would take it outside, and put it somewhere where there's a lot of cover and there's a lot of moisture, and it'll do great out there. But I know this question is going to come up, and this is where I thought you were going with this question. If it's more than one, if it turns into an infestation, people have asked me, what's the most ethical way to get rid of them? Is there a humane way to get rid of them, et cetera, et cetera? Sometimes pest control is necessary. There are lots of pest control companies that will fumigate your house and that will help get rid of an infestation for you. I would just ask your pest control company how it's affecting the rest of the environment, how it's going to affect other native species, and see what their answer is. And if their answer is like, what does that mean? Then maybe go with a different pest control company.
Perfect. Okay.
Thank you, Selfie.
Yep.
Selfie needs to clean his room. A really fun thing about all these people asking questions is when we kick them out of the stream, we can report them. And then they get banned. Insta-banned. That's what's going to happen. Hi, Hammy.
Hello.
How are
yes,
you?
I'm not an actual hamster. I'm doing great.
Good.
I simply wanted to kind of go over, like, we do tend to have a lot of cockroach problems in our own home here, and we've gone as far as having some pest control coming over and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know if there's like a specific kind of thing we need to look out for when doing pest control, like if there's a cock, like if there's the type of cock that like you can't particularly use that's like safe for maybe cockroaches to kind of be around. I personally have grabbed cockroaches and brought them outside from where I am, so I kind of wanted to know if there was
C-A-U-L-K. Sorry, Hammy.
Cock.
You're fine.
Yes.
You get thank you for saying
I just didn't know if there is like specific ones you need to kind of look out for.
Yeah, okay. So I don't have the answer to that because I bet it differs from species to species, and I don't know that much about extermination. So that's a question that you need to ask the company that you're going with. But like I just said to Stealthy briefly, is when you're working with an extermination company, make sure you ask them how it's going to affect your native wildlife, how it's going to affect other wildlife, how it's going to affect the environment, and make sure they have an answer for you that feels sufficient to you.
We've had like the perimeter like secured around, and I've also like talk to them about what exactly they do and stuff, and they just line it up with a certain pesticide. Now I'm gonna probably have to go over on which exactly which one it is, but I'll have that all figured out. That's fine.
Cool. All right. Well,
that was really it. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Bye, Amy. Face reveal. Wicked. Yep. Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
Sir Smithy
Green from the
G.
UK.
Oh
Hey,
my God,
love
the
the
UK.
stream, love Animal Quest, love Alveus and everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, just had a question. So I've, outside of like, zoos and things like that, I've never seen a cockroach in the UK. Is there like a reason for that? Is it just like biodiversity or something like that?
Any other UK
Or maybe I have a
folks?
really clean room?
Is he just really clean? I don't know. They're super common in the US, especially like New York. Like they're everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're just less common there. Same here in Germany. You don't even have German cockroaches? Also from the UK, never seen a cockroach. Climate, maybe? I've never seen one. I've never seen one before. Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe they're just like not that common in the UK.
Yeah, I guess so. Fair enough. Yeah, I just thought that maybe there'd be a specific reason, like we had wiped them out or something at some point, or even though you said it's like impossible.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because they're literally all saying they don't have this problem. It's so weird. It's so common in the US. That's wild. Cool. Well, let me know if you see one. If you see one, post it on Show and Tell.
I will. Thank you. Also, got my little Alveus thing sent like yesterday, so thank you.
Somebody asked if it was fake. Just so you know, all the signatures are not fake. I did those all with my own hands.
I was wondering. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Why does everyone think they're fake? I'm pissed. It took me so long to do that. Okay, well there you go.
Thanks for putting the effort in.
Thank you for getting one.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye bye.
Stream it next time. I literally might. Kind of pissing me off. Maybe I shouldn't use Sharpie. Maybe it looks too opaque. Like it looks too good printed. You know? Hi, Gecko. Oh my God. I can't hear you. Oh,
I can hear. There you go. Hi there. So I've been reading, a bunch of articles and stuff saying that our future, like the food in the future, is going to be bug based, and I just want an opinion on that.
Yeah. A lot of people, there's a word for it that I forget. Not that it really matters, but the amount of protein or something in a bug proportionally is just ridiculous compared to a large animal like livestock that we eat. So a lot of people are talking about eating bugs. Yeah. I don't know enough about it to know if it's like a sustainable path to the future, but a lot of people eat bugs, and most of the reason that people think that's crazy is because of people's misconceptions towards bugs and that they think that they're gross. I think it's absolutely a possibility. I just don't know how sustainable it is.
Would you have a bug patty?
Yeah, if it was a patty, for sure, I'd try it. People just don't like the legs and like the crunch and the carapace, but I bet you could make it where it's like a patty.
Yeah.
If you ever get one, post on Show and Tell.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Gecko. Easily sustainable? You'd think it'd be more sustainable than eating livestock. Yeah, because there's so many and it takes so much less to farm them. You can farm so many more in a small space than you can like one cow. I don't know though. Dino live.
Hello.
Hello.
Do they have a penis?
Do cockroaches have a penis? I don't think so. I'm looking at Connor right now. He's behind the camera. I don't think that they do. I actually don't know anything about cockroach reproduction, which I should. I don't think so. I don't know. Cloaca? All right, we got to report this guy. He asked me a question I didn't know.
All right, I'm getting banned by chat.
Okay, bye, Dino. We'll never see him again. Yeah, we're never going to see him again. It works very well. Hugo Boss! Maya stumped on a penis question? That's actually crazy. Yeah, I'm really disappointed in myself for that. I did not get that far. Can someone look it up for me? Hugo!
Hi, Maya.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. You got a question? Tell me it's not about penises.
No, I just want to say hi, that's it.
Oh, okay, great question. Hi, Hugo.
That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. He just said hi. You didn't ask good. This is a Q&A segment, damn it. Report Hugo. Oh, I think you can still hear me. The male locks onto her with a penis. Wait, say it again. Penis lock onto the female and then deliver the sperm. Oh, they do have a penis. I'm so sorry. Milk, cockroaches have a penis, if that was your question.
No, that wasn't my question, but
Okay.
that's interesting. My question is, do you think it's possible for humans to genetically modify themselves like bugs for survival?
Genetically modify bugs for absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, genetically modify humans to survive like bugs, to be like more.
Oh.
Yeah.
That question is a little bit. I just studied agriculture. I don't know. That's a really big question. What do you mean? Like, can we modify ourselves to survive more radiation?
Pretty much what I'm asking is, can humans be like Spider-Man?
Can humans be at right now? No.
Okay. Do you ever think humans will be able to be like Spider-Man, or I don't know, like have armored skin like a dragonfly, or?
I think that all depends on how well we take care of our invertebrates, because if we don't care about invertebrates and they all die, then we will all die before we have the chance to become them. Thank you for your question.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm a politician. All right, a couple more, folks. A couple more. Gandhi. Oh my God, it works.
Hello?
Hello.
So can cockroaches swim? And if so, do they swim on their back so they can breathe?
So they don't breathe through their mouth. They breathe through their abdomen, so being on their back or being on their stomach wouldn't matter. Number one. Number two, I think that they have mobility in water. Not like they're not like breaststroking, you know, but like I think that they can move in water a little bit. They can hold their breath for 30 minutes, so they can be in water, yes. But I don't think that they don't swim intentionally to go somewhere.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your question. All right, two more questions. Osage. Hello.
Hey. Okay, so my question is, what are your thoughts on diatomaceous earth?
I was not ready for that question. Okay, what are my thoughts on diatomaceous earth? My first initial thought is that it works. Diatomaceous earth is something that you put down to prevent insects from getting into somewhere. So it's like, it looks like flour or an illegal substance, but it's made of a bunch of little microscopic shards, and it doesn't hurt you, like it doesn't cut you, but it slices the carapace of bugs so they die. Ella, someone just asked me about what I think about diatomaceous earth, and I'm doing this whole presentation on cockroaches, and my answer is that it is very effective and it does work. If you need to keep bugs out of somewhere, like, you can put diatomaceous earth down. Is it ethical? Probably not a good way to go.
That's true. I didn't think about is it ethical?
There's also arguments that bugs feel pain a lot differently than we do. There is an argument that they don't feel pain. They just understand that they're in a dangerous situation where they could be eaten.
Yeah. Ella said, so another thing that's not thoroughly researched is whether or not, it's not just bugs, like people talk about whether fish feel pain and whether that they probably experience pain very differently than we do. So if you take a human and put them in that situation, and you think about if we were in diatomaceous earth that would slice through our carapace until we died, it would be extremely traumatic and awful. Is it the same way for bugs? The only answer to that question that I have is we don't know.
All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Sure thing. Thank you for your question. That was a good question. Does it hurt other animals?
Yes.
No, it can be around other animals. Like, we put it in bird enclosures and stuff like that. People eat it. Isn't it? People eat it for parasites. Yeah, because you can eat it and it shreds parasites, but it doesn't hurt you. Diatomaceous earth. Kayla said people used to mix it with water in Nepal and drink it. Someone asked me what I thought about it, and now we're talking about how ethical it is for the bugs. Probably not. Yeah. All right, last question, folks. Here we go, and it's from Carolax. Hello.
Hello. This is Stompy.
Stompy. Cute. I love it.
So you always ask about you always talk about having animals as pets, and like some of them are not ethical to have. And obviously, like, not a lot of people probably want to have cockroaches, but maybe you've changed their minds a bit. So what do you think on having cockroaches as pets?
I think that cockroaches can be pets. Someone asked this before. You do need to look into the permitting where you live, because sometimes you can't get certain species of cockroaches because you run the risk of them getting out and being invasive. So you need to make sure that it's legal to purchase them where you're getting them. And then they need specific humidity requirements and specific temperature requirements. So you need to do a lot of research before you put them in a terrarium where they will live their lives. And then you just have to feed them whatever they eat, mostly produce. But I think they can be really fun. It's kind of similar to having a fish tank. You know, they're not super interactive pets. It's not like you're going to be like, it's not like a dog. But if you want a terrarium or a tank or something to maintain in your home, you can do it as long as you do the research for it and make sure they're not wild caught.
Thank you. So no wild catching them.
No, don't wild catch.
You have to get them from a breeder then.
Yeah. And ensure that they're captive bred too, because sometimes people will sell them that wild caught ones.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye. Jen has a question. People are really mad. So if you want to just throw her in there, because that's what we do when chatters riot, is we give them what we want. Thank you for the example, Jen. Excellent. All right, last question. From Jen. Jen? Why is wild caught bad? Because we don't know how it affects wild populations. There's not enough research on invertebrate populations. They don't do the counting, and they don't know.
The stream's lagging.
Hello?
Hello. Hi. I have a very important question. What are your thoughts on bug and insect and everything population and representation in video games, specifically WoW?
I didn't even know that they were in WoW.
Yeah, I can take a picture of my cockroach pet right meow.
Okay, that's great. I think it's very nice that you can have pet bugs in WoW.
Okay.
All right, Kicker. Thank you for your question, Jen. We reported Jen, so you guys don't need to worry about that. You're giggling. So funny. All right. That actually worked excellent. That was pretty sick for the Q&A. Shout out Twitch for a feature. A working feature that's kind of sick. That was guest star, everybody. Thank you if you joined in and asked questions. I will say it was probably less questions than I normally do for the Q&A because they take a little longer, but still good. I think that was cool. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned a little bit about insects, about invertebrates, about roaches. I know that you don't have to like them, right? I know it's really hard to change your mind on something that's so polarizing, but if you could do me one solid and just remember why they're there in the first place, that would be really great, right? The biggest takeaway from this presentation is that cockroaches, their job is to clean up our environment. And so if they're in your house, they're just there looking for how they can help and looking for how they can clean up. So they're making our world better. They're very, very important. Sometimes you can't live with them. Sometimes you have to get rid of them because they're a health risk. Totally fine. But I just hope that you guys can start seeing them a little bit differently because they deserve that. I'll try. Hooray. So yeah, that is my cockroach animal quest. I will be live next on tomorrow's Wednesday, right? I'll be live next on Thursday morning for desktop stream. So I will see you for a desktop stream Thursday, and we'll do show and tell Thursday. So if you guys have any show and tell posts, feel free to put them up so I can go over them on Thursday. And and Twitch Prime, if you would like to, that would be very nice. Would appreciate that. We recorded Wine About It last night. We recorded the first formal Wine About It episode back last night, and it is going up tomorrow on YouTube. So make sure you go subscribe to Wine About It's YouTube. It's almost at 100K, which is pretty cool. So you can go do that. And I did find matching wine. I got it on the way home from my appointment. We're gonna post the matching wine. We're gonna post the wine that we were drinking on the Patreon. So if you want to go pick it up to watch the episode, you are welcome to. It was a $12 bottle of wine. So it was posted. Great. Cutie posted it on the Patreon. If you want to go pick up that wine, it was $12. It's, you can drink it with us if you'd like. It was bad. Spoiler. I don't like wine. Anyway, Wine About It is coming out tomorrow. So be ready for that. And then I will see you on Thursday. Thank you so much. We're going to start the raid for Alveus. A lot of you are not normally here because we're on the front page. If you can hear me, most of you probably can't because I'm just rotating. But we're raiding Alveus. This is an animal sanctuary. We have a bunch of animals here. We have live cams on all of them. And so Alveus has a channel. So if you want to see what lives here, besides me, you can go follow the Alveus channel as well. Would really appreciate that. We'll probably switch it to the cam where you can see the parrots and the foxes and the pasture. Oh my gosh, leaked. Spoiler. Yeah, okay, we're starting up the raid. Good space. Thank you. Go cry more.